Hey guys, what's going on this test drive Thursday?
All right, thank you, Scotty. Not a whole lot. Jamie, how are you?
Doing well, Andy. How are you?
Doing good. Yeah, not bad, man. It's been a great test drive. Lots of folks taking it, that's for sure.
Yeah, what could very well turn out to be our biggest one yet, as far as
Yeah, how about that?
attendees, so to speak.
Yep, great to see, and I do see some of them in here, obviously, the 60%. But I do see some regulars, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Andy. I'm joined with Jamie. This is my trading studio. Let's go over a little disclaimer here. Guys, we are a content providers. We are doing this for educational purposes only, whatever it may be, but nothing that we say or show you today should be construed as investment advice, all right? If that is what you're looking for, please look for a registered advisor, a stockbroker, somebody who has that license and can provide that legally to you. All right, let's move on to our 5-star support, education, and training. Can seem complicated to some when you first unpackage it. But what you're going to find over time, especially given 2 weeks, 10 trading days to use it, is by the end of this time, you're going to have a real good feel if you will, take our courses at TI University, or at least watch the videos, come to our webinars, come to our Q&A on Friday. There's many resources to help you. We'll go over a few of them here. The traders room, I'm sure everybody has been in there. That seems like the popular place to go. Barry is really good with helping people when he's not trading. And yeah, there's been a great turnout in that. So, but that's not our only resources, guys. We've been doing a 1-hour webinar every day this week, and we'll do 2 hours tomorrow at least. So there's many resources, and these webinars that you're coming to in the afternoon, we do these every week, Monday through Thursday, and at 5 Eastern time slot. It's usually myself, Jamie, or Steve, kind of juggling the duties there, paired up in twos, but we do on Friday. You can watch our CEO, Dan Merkin, and our CTO, Brad Williams. That's a great little Q&A demo, and they will always good about showing you little new things coming around the corner. So be sure to check out these afternoon webinars. They can be very informative. And then our Friday support session, like I was talking about, this will be tomorrow at 11 Eastern time, okay? Our previous test drive webinars but this one will be an hour earlier today. And it's scheduled for 3 hours, but it seems like everybody kind of gets petered out after about 2 hours. Be in there. A YouTube playlist where you can view this on YouTube. And we next week, I'm not sure since we're still in the test drive, if we're going to resume the TI University, or we're going to continue with our morning Q&A webinars. But either way, it will be very educational for you. All right, but if you haven't seen this and you are in the test drive this week, please go to YouTube, find trade ideas, go to our playlist and look for TI University. These are 1-hour videos, okay? Recorded videos, same content as we're doing right now. So taking the test drive, or you're a subscriber, you know about our paper trader. That has been live now for a couple of weeks. Great way for you to test your strategies, your trading, your portfolio management skills directly on trade ideas. Okay, you no longer need a broker connection. You do not need to fund an account. Okay, it's all done on our nifty Brokerage Plus interface, which is it's cool. I like it. It's one of the best interfaces I ever use, and I've used a lot of trading softwares. As a matter of fact, we're going to spend a good portion on that today, taking a look at it, because I'm seeing most of the questions that are coming into our support is on the paper trader and the Brokerage Plus. So decided to spend some time on that today. Let's just dive into our agenda and look at what we're going to talk about. We're going to do the market recap and the Holly recap. Jamie will have some thoughts, a couple of good trades in Holly Neo today. And any others that were out there, he will dissect them for you. And then, like I said, I'm going to talk about the paper trader, and I'm going to talk about creating your own strategies. I'm going to share a couple of strategies with you today that you might want to put into use. And if nothing else, you know, paper trade it and get a feel. And I think you're going to enjoy this little segment today. I'm going to show you how basically the market opened up, and after 15 minutes a day, I put on a long and a short strategy and just kind of watched them work. It's kind of like managing a mini hedge fund. And Jamie kind of does the same thing to understand, I hope, because we do have a lot of people answered and get to them like I see him doing with a couple already. It's to tell me to take a look at. He'll interrupt me and just let me know so we can stop and talk about a question that you might have on the material. All right, let's back out of this and let's go into the market recap. And I have a big daily candles favorable to like 5 stocks, like you find the kind of, you hear us talk about the fast line a lot. Here's a great example right here. Just, you know, comes down close to this fast line, and here we're finally starting to kind of touch it a little bit. So almost too sweet, but there's no bullish argument to be made. I'm sorry, bearish argument to be made. I mean, I don't think you can argue with something this close to all-time highs, above all its moving averages, and kind of coiling possible. But before I came on, I went back last time we kind of broke through highs, and I'm kind of draw this down for the time being. Saw a price had a double top right here in the SPYs, okay, and then what happened? We dipped down, got just below the 200 moving average, and then we popped up, and now, you know, right here we kind of advanced here for the next several weeks. And look what we have here. If I move it up, okay, we had another double top. There's our dip down, very similar to what we saw over here. And now here, once again, we have broken through that and kind of forming that same little pattern here with about the same amount of percentage gain from this level to that level as we are right now. So it'll be interesting. You can see we got tired eventually right here, and we had another pullback. So let's see what happens. And when we had that pullback, we went below the prior double top, okay? A lot of people thought that spelled doom, and of course, in hindsight, it did not. We eventually moved higher and broke out of this double top. So reason I bring that to your attention, it's kind of symmetrical as far as double tops and breaking, and now we are kind of going sideways like we did here, and we'll see if we can power forward, or are we going to pull back like we did over here and keep the symmetry. We'll you know, find out. I would probably be more surprised if it didn't happen, and that is to come back and test this breakout. I know we had a couple of, you know, let's see, bottoming tails right here. To me, that's not a true test because we were just barely above that double top. And really, if I use this wick over here, we were kind of just going sideways right at it. So like I said, I would be surprised if we didn't come back at some point and test this, you know, breakout. We usually do. So we'll see what happens. Let's venture over to the Qs now. And same kind of scenario too. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. Diamonds, let's take a look. And same story. There's our double top once again. But I do want to focus on the IWM because ironically, and this is kind of the stupid price action we get today. I noticed this morning, okay, I want you to take a look at what's going on here in the diamonds in this morning. I'm sorry, the IWM. Look at the SPYs. Okay, so SPYs kind of had a nasty dip down right here while the IWM was hanging on close to highs. So IWM in the morning hours were outperforming the SPYs, only to turn around in the afternoon hours and underperform the SPYs. As the SPYs closed close to highs, this one closed probably closer to lows. You can see it there on the individual candles. So, you know, that's just wacky. Yeah, it really is. I don't know reasoning behind it, I don't even want to guess, but it's just strange that a major indice would be outperforming so much in the morning and then turn around and underperforming in the afternoon. But that's what we had. Just crazy action there. Jamie, let me know if I'm missing anything over there. I see you pounding out a few answers.
No problem. We're all caught up.
Okay, good. Well, so getting back to the IWM, if we do get a move higher with the SPYs and we cannot get the IWM to break through this channel that it's been in for a very long time, I should have probably left this big again. Draw this horizontal line right here, and this is basically a channel that we have been in pretty much all year. Okay, from basically late January all the way till where we are now, we have been in a channel. And the SPYs keep going to highs and saying, okay, Russell 2000, it's time, where are you? And it just refuses to go. And you probably can't go back too many times in history and find this kind of price action in a major indice like this, with the other ones going to all-time highs. So take a quick observation here of the SPYs, and there you have it. Even back over here in May, I mean, we're hitting all-time highs, and once again, the IWM was just still stuck in the mud and going nowhere. I mean, it tried there at the top of its range and then just pulled back. Market did too, but now we've gone much higher, and yet the IWM is just still stuck in the mud. So this could, at some point, it's going to have to resolve itself in one direction or the other. I don't think the markets can just keep going, higher. But you know what? They fooled me up to this point. So we'll see. There could be just at some point, there could be just a major move in the IWM, or I think, we could have a major pullback in the other major indices, excuse me, if it doesn't go. All right, that's enough of the market. Jamie, unless you have something that you want to talk about as far as the market recap goes.
No, you pretty much summed it up nicely. The IWM weirdness, it decoupled this morning, as we saw. And, a while back, it went through that phase where it would decouple with the rest of the major indices. It'd be up and they were down. So, I mean, it's interesting times in the market right now. I mean, a lot of opportunity out there. Some great AI trades as well. Hey, everybody got what they wanted. We're at all-time highs. It's just sometimes it's a little anticlimactic up here, especially with the IWM doing what it's doing. So, yeah.
True. Absolutely. All right, let me see here. I hear Ian, here's a major crash is coming. Whole new monetary system. Will this work in that scenario? Well, if I sold everything every time I heard a major crash was coming, I would never be invested probably. But
and Andy, my crystal ball is in the shop right now, so
Yep.
We as traders just have to be ready for whatever type of market presents itself. Market going down, there's plenty of opportunity there too for short selling. So movement is what we want, but hey, everybody'd like to start trending higher again. But you've always got 50% saying crash imminent, crash imminent. I mean, people have been saying crash imminent for a very long time, and there's always going to be one, right? It's about timing, though.
Yeah, Ian follows it up with no bubble lasts forever, and you're exactly right, Ian. The problem is I mean, you don't know when that bubble is going to burst. I think at some point, all this free money policies across the world is going to have, like many people think, a sad ending. The problem is they just keep lowering rates anytime things don't look good, and how long can this go? I don't know.
Print cash. Yep. Unlimited quantitative easing. Okay, so don't let Andy and I keep talking about this. We'll use up the whole hour. Andy, you ready for me to go over a few AI trades here? All right.
You bet.
Okay, so I think you should have eyes on my screen for the first time, or maybe you've just been, using it since Monday Well, I tell the new people something that you guys have heard countless times, but hey, it's always good to hear it because it's good stuff typically. So for the new people, just a quick overview, Neo AI, which is part of the Holly trio here. So there's 3 different segments currently. They all have a little bit different characteristic. Holly, the first one is what we could call the more conservative module. 2.0, a little bit more aggressive than Holly AI, with the ability that we can insert custom formulas into those strategies. You can't do that with Holly 1.0 or Holly AI. So that's the difference between those two. Lastly, Neo is going to be the most aggressive of the trio, and it can also use custom scripts that we can create for it. Okay, so that's kind of the highlight of what makes the modules different from one another. Down here, this bottom pane, my AI strategies window, and you can see here all the strategies that made the cut from all 3 of these AIs doing the number crunching behind the scenes each and every night. So to take that one step further, all of these strategies here that made the cut for today had to meet a minimum score on our proprietary scoring system to make the cut. In other words, these are the strategies that came to play today. But just because they show up doesn't mean that they will actually fire off a trade. As you can see, pullback long and nickelback down here had 0 trades because these are all very specific filter sets and alerts. So if they don't fire, if everything doesn't line up, then that module does not trade for the day. Otherwise, you can see this strategy had 3 trades, 2, so forth and so on. Number 14, strategies that the AI analyzes each and every night after folding in today's market data. So in essence, boil it all down, what is the advantage of the AI? Well, it's bringing statistical probability to all of the signals. And we can see here what the win percentage was for each and every one of these strategies coming into the session today. So expected statistics for each strategy and then how they actually perform today. Sometimes they overperform, sometimes they underperform. But the bottom line is we have statistical probability on our side from all of these trades that you can see up here, which is the all trades plotter. In other words, when a symbol gets triggered from a strategy, it's going to show up on the blotter just like it was a person making a trade. And of course, we can sort by time over here. If we want to see, say, the very first trade that was triggered today, it was this beautiful trade, IGT. And Andy, you know what? If we handed out an award for the best behaved stock, it would definitely be IGT today. I mean, this thing just behaved beautifully.
It did.
It's a great example to use right now as one of the trades that was generated by the Neo module today. The first trade actually out of the chute at 8:35, 5 minutes into the open. So we're going to focus on these 2 columns right here. You can see how the AI did in its conservative mode and how it did taking a little bit more risk in what we call moderate profit. So conservative mode is the AI trading and obeying its entire rule set, okay? If we look over here at the exit reason, we can always see why the AI exited a trade, all right? Timed exit, profit save, reduce risk. Sometimes a stop loss gets hit, and we can see some of that happening over here, all right? Some trades are going to stop out. That's just normal type of trading activity, whether you're a human or an AI. So there are 5 reasons. Profit target is hit, stop loss is hit, time to hold expires. And then these reduce risk and profit save are what I like to refer to as audibles, giving the AI the ability to close a trade early if it doesn't like what's going on, okay? So let's take a look at this IGT trade. And Andy, I know I'm rambling a little bit here. I'll keep an eye on the time.
No, don't worry about it, Jamie. Yeah,
okay, so
time.
IGT, here we are looking at IGT on the intraday on the 15-minute candles. So we can see right here, the blue line, that's where the AI recommended it at a price of $14.47. And then down here, the 13.73, that is the recommended stop loss area. Never really had to worry about that stop loss getting hit today because you can see right here, as soon as the entry was made, next 15-minute candle, we had a nice push back up to that, pretty close to the high of that opening wick there. And then in the next 15-minute candle, boom, all-time highs on the daily, and then a nice little consolidation area here. Now, as I said earlier, statistical probability breakout long. If we find that strategy here, breakout long, one of the more lackluster strategies coming into the session, 47.4% success rate, but this thing kicked out 3 trades today and overperformed at a win rate of 66.7 today. Now, if you focus on the shaded area here, and that looks a little long. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong stock. Okay, I was like, what? Okay, IGT. The shaded area right here is the time that the AI spent in the trade in conservative mode, and you can see right here, initiated a profit save, okay? So the AI using conservative mode made $25.16 based on the stop loss that I'm using, which I'll show you here, how we can adjust this. I'm risking 50 bucks a trade, okay? So the AI is calculating that if I get stopped out, I'll only lose 50 or maybe just a little bit more of a slippage, but it'll adjust my share size based on the stop loss. So in this case, you would have been in 68 shares of IGT, and actually, hey, we were in that today, Andy, via automation with, I think, what, only 2 cents of slippage. So
Wasn't
I think
bad,
we got
yeah.
filled at 1449 through the automation module. And it was a nice little trade. So the difference between conservative profit and moderate profit, we can call that a spread, right? Just like a stock spread. So on conservative mode, 25 and 16 cents. But if you took a little bit more risk holding into the close, we're looking at almost quadruple what you could have made in conservative profit. And we can just kind of take a look at the chart as the day progresses to decide, well, based on what this trade has done, how it's reacted since we've been in it. Beautiful things about this trade. Number one, we had the statistical probability on our side. Number two, check out the volume, the relative volume of 8.74 down here in the single stock window. I mean, the volume was raging in this thing all day. So what I referred to earlier jokingly about the best behaved stock, clearly they had earnings before the market this morning. A little gap up, clearly buyers were in the stock for this first 30-minute period. Okay, and then just like a good stock should do, if it's really got buyers in it, it takes a little break because you can't just go vertical all day. So that's what this little consolidation is basically buyers and sellers become equal. But what it does is it sets up for a really nice second entry right here as it just goes to sleep for a little bit. Volume was still high, comes up here and cracks that opening range break. Great time to add to this position, does a little bit more and just notches up all day. I mean, it was beautiful action. I would be remiss if I did not point out the green line here, which is one of mine and Steve and Andy's favorite moving averages for the intraday period. That's a 10-period moving average. You know, if it started getting bleedy down here and maybe a candle closed beneath, that's always a good time to think about getting out. But this thing just levitated above that 10-period all day. Tested it a little bit here, but man, it just really acted as the guiding hand. And got to give Steve credit for that, opening my eyes to this 10-period, but it really is a good indicator for intraday trending. So to sum it up, we had statistical probability from the AI. We got immediate move, immediate lift in the original signal, and then we had plenty of time to see what this thing was made of as it consolidated here and just kept creeping up higher and higher. I mean, that was a great trade, great place to add. Big volume, statistical probability on our side, just doesn't get much better than that. So the game that we play here is, hey, how can we capture some of this spread between risk off and risk on if we ignore the AI signal and say, okay, but I think this thing's got some more juice left in it. Then of course, once this plays out, you know, we were brought this by the AI, and ladies and gentlemen, that's really what it's all about. I mean, a lot of people out there have decent trading skills. What they run into a lot of the time is they're trying to trade the stock that's not going to move for the day. Okay, sometimes volume is enough, sometimes it's a beautiful pattern, but when you can start stacking attributes like this together, to bring stocks like this to your attention, and then leveraging those trades, you can really beef that account up quickly. I'll go over one more here, and then I'll kick it back over to you, Andy.
Okay.
Since I'm talking a lot more than I normally do about the AI.
That's fine, Jamie. That's
Okay, so here's an interesting one. Okay, risking $100 in conservative mode, 56 bucks would have been gleaned roughly, and a double, pretty much, almost a little bit more than a double here, with 130 bucks risking 100. So not a bad trade. We got the signal right here at 43.03, and just boom, what a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hour and 15 minutes right there before it takes a little break. Okay, so hey, would have been hard to give, to let that ride. This one's a little bit more difficult to call, but if you said, hey, I think it's got more in it, you would have had to set a little bit of pullback there, and of course right here we get a little bit bleedy under that 10 period. However, once you're up that much in a stock, you have a couple of options. You can take half off, let the other half ride, hopefully to make more than the AI does in conservative mode, but there's always risk. That's why we call it risk on. That's what we used to call moderate risk, was risk on, but you're taking more risk. So, think about it from this perspective. Whether you took half off or just said, you know what, I'm sitting in the whole lot, probably be a good idea to set a break-even stop once you're that much in the money. Okay, if it flats me out, great. In this case, a break-even stop back down here would have come close, but no cigar. Came close, but it would have kept you in, whether you kept the whole lot or half. It's always a good idea, in my opinion, to take half off. Take that money, set the second lot for break even. If you get flatted out on that, you still made money on the first lot. Everybody's happy. In any case, sticking to that break even stop would have kept you in this one all day for a nice push into the close there. Therefore, able to pluck some of that, 75% spread there between 25 and 100, or excuse me, I'm sorry, ETFC, almost that 56 and $1.30 there. My eyes went back down to the other trade there. But whether you got an extra 10, 20, 30 cents, that stacks up over time, makes a big difference in your overall performance, especially on a yearly basis. All right, Andy. Do we have any questions regarding the AI pop in there?
No, I think, yeah, okay. I think they were all ears. Yeah, for sure. But so that's all right. Good stuff, Jamie. Thank you.
I'll kick it back over to you. And of course, if you ever do have any questions, just pop an email over to info@trade-ideas.com.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right, guys, back to my screen, and I wanted to talk today more about Brokerage Plus because, like I said, I'm getting a lot of questions come to our on-site online chat room, and also to our email. So when I start getting a lot of questions like that, I said, well, it's probably going to be a pretty good topic for today. So, and I know people are in here for the first time, and they are using the Brokerage Plus module and paper trading, and if you have any basic questions, okay, I'm kind of gonna not gonna talk about the basic connection and all that. I would think that most of you are probably connected by now, but I do want to talk about maybe setting up strategies, to auto trade, to gray box trade, whatever you want to do, okay, because it seems like that's where a lot of the questions are. Okay, so what I have today is 2 alerts here, and they're basically just the opposite of each other. Okay, this is a pullback above 50 SMA long swing. I know most of you in here have heard me talk about this a lot, and so what I've done is what I wanted to do today is, because the market has kind of been going sideways. Okay, we've reached the top. We talked about this in the market recap. Okay, we've been up here now for a while, just kind of going sideways. So what I did this morning, I told myself, it's a good idea with the free commission structure that everybody is getting now, and it's just a matter of time before you will be able to trade on the Brokerage Plus for free commissions. If IB doesn't do it, somebody else is going to come in here and be doing it. So don't fret about that. Okay. So I'm asking myself, with free commissions, I don't want to try to hone in on one stock and find that one stock that is going to possibly make me a lot of money or or lose a lot of money. Why not spread the risk? Okay, commissions are free. Spread the risk. And I talked about this in a webinar probably a couple of months ago, and it was well received, and that's why I kind of want to talk about this again. And create these strategies like a little hedge fund in your paper trader, so you can get a feel of basically just kind of managing a portfolio, managing your positions. So what I did today, okay, this is a long strategy, looking for stocks that have pulled back. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm going to share this with you so you can look at the filters and see what it's looking for. But basically, it's looking for strong stocks that are pulling back on a 5-day time frame and then reversing, okay? Good example, let's take a look at, it's best to always take a look at the some examples here, and I want to find one that's a good chart. I think this Hilton was a beauty today. All right, so that's the kind of stuff we're looking for. So here's a stock that was recently hitting a multi-month high, looks like close to an all-time high, okay? Had a nice drive higher, and now it's been pulling back over the last 5, 6, 7 days, okay? So the filter only requires it to be in the lower 25% of its 5-day range, okay? And then when I get a reversal and it takes out the previous day's high, I get an alert, just like you're seeing right there in Hilton, okay? This is the kind of stuff, guys, that if you build an A window, an alert window to find it for you, you do not have to be scanning this and looking at all your alerts to find the opportunity if you have this set up in your auto trader to take the position for you, okay? Now, so let's pull my Brokerage Plus over here, and I'm going to show you what you need to do, okay? If you want to use these, it's great. Maybe you want to build your own, okay? That's fine, but I think it would behoove you to really load some strategies up in your Brokerage Plus and start to auto trade them, or at least gray box trade them. Let it get you into the trade, and then you just managing, because you're going to find out once you spread the risk around and you have a nice little portfolio of stocks with small size, it's a lot less stressful than trying to jump in with 1,000 shares on a stock and hoping you can get that 30-cent move so you can and you're just wigging out on that one stock. And you can swing trade these. You can hold them all day, day trade them. It doesn't matter. But I think for most traders out there, you need to get out of the micro scalping mode. It's a very tough racket, and so I'm going to try to present you a way for you to kind of take on multiple positions. And remember, commissions are going to be free. So it doesn't matter how many positions you take, because once again, the commissions are free. All right, so let's go to the strategies. I only have these two in here. You see them right there. The bounce below, that's a short swing. Okay, it's a bounce, but it's below the 50-day moving average. And just the opposite of reversal is a long swing trading strategy where you're pulling back, just like that Hilton I showed you, and it's a long swing. So tell me, once, all you have to do to grab them is to load from cloud, and you go and find them in your cloud, okay? I'm not gonna do that, but let's say I wanted to do this bouncers. I would load it, okay? And don't click replace. I don't know why we have that highlighted, but you just wanna go add existing, and then it will come in there like that, okay? Now, once you do that, you have to go in here and configure your trading strategy. So this is my trading strategy for short, okay? Okay, if you pull it over here, it's going to have all your, in other words, if you have this back tested, all this stuff should be in here for you, but you want to check it anyways. Make sure it's a short, make sure your filters are all pulling over. Entry time, it will pull your entry time over if you have this back tested, okay? You can do stop after sending 10 orders if you want. You could actually bring this down to 5, do something like that. Whatever you want to do, that's up to you. That's subjective right there. But you do probably want to have this top one checked, because if you have multiple symbols coming through, you don't want it to sit there and keep firing the same trade over and over. Okay, Jeff says, one question on Brokerage Plus. Do you have to save the layout after Brokerage Plus? Yes, very good question. So Jeff, I will go over that once I finish doing this. Good question. All right, I don't have this set up to stop because I'm usually manually doing this, but it's probably a good habit. I probably should do that. You know, stop after 5, stop after 10. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do 10. That's usually a good number there. Order details. Okay, I have mine set at fixed dollars. Okay, 3,000. A popular way to do it is if you want to do based on stop loss, you can do that. But that's the same as the Holly, setting your stop loss. So in other words, if you have a stop loss in there, I have 3% on my strategy, and let's say I don't want to lose more than $100 a trade, I could just put that based on stop loss. And if it does go down 3%, the stock, and I get stopped out, that's what I'm going to lose. But on this one, I just have fixed shares, 3,000. Just trying something a little bit different. Risk management, order details, these are pretty liquid. I just have an offset. It's not like trying to get a neo call where you may have to put a 10-cent, you know, offset. These stocks are pretty liquid, and I'm actually kind of, yeah, I don't think you'll have a trouble. Maybe you might want to put it at 3 or 4, but I've done it at 2, and it's hadn't been an issue. Risk management, percent stop loss, 3%, pretty straightforward for a swing trade for me. Target, I don't use one. Trailing stop, I don't use one. It's just, I just use a hold time. I use the hold time tomorrow plus 2 days at the open. So once you figured all that out, guys, all you have to do is come in here, and what I did this morning, let me remove this. Delete selected, there you go. That's how you delete them. All right, so once you set up your parameters, what I did this morning is I'm like, all right, market opened up, let's take a look at the spiders. I never turn these on first thing in the morning. I always will take a look at the spiders at least for maybe 15 minutes. But what I was seeing this morning as we opened up, we're gapped down a little bit. I'm saying to myself, you know what, we could go anywhere. More than likely, we're gonna probably, you know, hold this fast line, and we did. But I'm gonna put on both short and long strategies. See what happens after 15 minutes once the bell opens. So what happens is once you have them up, these start just firing off. You can see the trades here. The early ones were at, let me do it by created, and you can see the 847 was the first one. Longs, you can see all longs started firing. So even after the market, you know, opened up and was open for almost 30 minutes when we didn't have any long. Finally, we had a short fire off and a few more longs. But the sweet thing about this is it's small size, okay? I'm able to watch it, and then I'm able to just kind of manage it. I mean, I think probably the best trade, and I tweeted this out, was this at home was a beautiful setup here. And this is the kind of stuff that you're not, you know, if you catch it, you're going to catch it late. But look at this trade right here. Big gap down, huge volume, nice bounce for, you know, 4 or 5 days, and now we had a reversal of that bar. And look at that entry. See that? That is golden. That's the kind of stuff that you're probably not going to catch. You're going to catch it later once you see your alert 15 minutes later and it's already gone. But if you're in auto trading mode, you're going to get that feel.
Beautiful entry.
And that's what happened. And that's isn't that a beautiful entry? Yeah. I wish I'd seen it earlier. I would like to have got into our little fun there, but no, well. All right. So what is the meaning? Why am I doing this? Well, once again, I'm getting back to small size. Let the trades develop. Okay, I'm not sitting here chasing a pattern that I think is going to happen or trying to trade off emotions. I am letting a good entry happen. Okay, we can all agree that H, like I showed you, was a good entry right there. Look at that beauty. And at home, these are just gorgeous entries. And the reason I'm telling you this is I think what may happen is once I paper trade this for a while, and you could do the same, this may become something that you can put forth and with real money. And you basically become a little mini hedge fund manager where you're just controlling the ones that Steve made a great analogy of the day. This is where you start tending your garden, okay? It's EBTC, okay? Didn't do what I thought. We had to break, okay? It got up here, it kind of petered out, rolled over, okay, there's the signal, and it didn't work. This is one that will be on the short list. I'll keep an eye on this tomorrow, and if it does take out, that high, this is one that you want to tend your garden and just cut it loose. It didn't do what you thought it was going to be. At home, this does have the chance to go to, at least, possibly hit this low over here. I'll let that work. Okay, that's a nice plant that's growing full. Let that baby blossom. So, and don't get me wrong. A lot of times, I mean, this is not always going to work out just perfectly. I mean, some days, maybe the market gets you in a lot of longs, and the market just for some reason rolls over. Okay. And you didn't have your short strategies turned on. This is why I think you got to be careful and maybe do some little hedging, especially if you're going to be trading in the early morning, because we all know it can get kind of wacky. But that being said, I could understand why some people would, because look, you can see here, I didn't sell anything. If we did have all long strategy, it would be doing pretty good too. Of course, we'd miss out on this beautiful at-home short. So I think it's one of those things that you can put two strategies like a little hedge fund together, okay, and then just cut the ones that aren't working. Remember, this is a swing trading strategy, so you got to give them a little room. But if they don't do what you expect them to do, like this ETFC, let me see if I can find a long that's not working very well. Okay, BKE. All right, we had the beautiful pattern there. There was a huge move right there. I would take that entry every time, okay? Okay, right now it's not working. I'm not gonna give up on this entry. You got an upward sloping moving average. So this is what I'm saying. Just because it's down slightly, I'm not gonna give up on something like this. Now, if it goes over and takes out yesterday's low, then it's probably breaking the fast line right there, the 10-period moving average. Then I may say, hey, you're definitely not doing what I expect you to do. You're gone. So I hope you guys, I'm going to share these with you, these two strategies, and maybe it's something you can, especially if you're on the test drive, you can try this out the next 6 days that you have left, because I really think if you can, do something like this where you're taking the emotions out of it, you're letting your strategy get you into the trade, and then you're becoming like a hedge fund manager with small size, versus, like I said, trying to find that one trade. I mean, it's great when you find that one trade like IGT and it works and you kill it. More power to you. But I also know how difficult that is, and how your emotions take over, and you sell too quick and you end up jumping in another one that doesn't work, and the next thing you know, you've taken away all your profits on IGT. Trust me, I was.
Well, Andy, hey, I'm a big fan of this as well, because think about it from this perspective. You're going to trade. You're a trader, and you're like, okay, time to trade. Crack your knuckles. The market opens, and maybe you're allocating your capital. You're in 2 or 3 positions, and that's it. And maybe they work, maybe they don't. Mm-hmm. Or would you go, okay, I have a long bias today, but instead of loading in the 1, 2, or 3 big positions, I tell you what, I'm going to spread my risk over 30, 40 names, but just down the size of each trade as far as capital expended. So yeah, you're long, you have a long bias, think the market's going up, but you've diversified yourself immensely. All right.
Yep.
That's a much more complex way to do it. It's a much more logical way to do it. So you're not dependent upon one stock and sitting there freaking out like you were talking about over one stock. You're really just kind of you can tend your garden, or you can just kind of watch the ebb and flow of the P and L, or the P and L, of course. But yeah, it's just a much more sane way to do things, to spread risk around, right? From a swing and intraday perspective. It's good stuff.
All right. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. Yeah. So anyway, let me pull this over and share these. I think most of you guys have them, but I will share them anyway. Let me just do pull back. above 50. Long swing. Share, and I will drop this into the chat panel. I'm just going to put long since I only have 2. All right, you guys should have access to that, and now I will do the short one as well. Come on, where you at? What am I doing wrong?
And I'm just going to answer Jeff's question real quick. Jeff, I don't think, I'm looking at my columns on Brokerage Plus, and I don't think that the percent is available just yet. But that would be a good column to add.
Oh, no wonder I was doing above again. Why is that not coming up? Let me just do it this way. I don't know why that's not working. Let me just put this back on real time, and I will do it this way. And this is the short. All right.
And somebody was requesting
all right, guys, we got
a table, so I'm going to drop it in there for him.
Okay, thank you, Jamie.
Sure. Okay, the A table cloud link should also now be in the chat.
Jeff, you're not going to be able, for right now, okay, you're not going to be able to get a percentage return column, okay? I'm sure that's something that will come in the future. I had somebody else requesting that as well. Right now, you're just going to have to go with the open P&L in dollars. No problem. You're welcome. All right, guys, if we don't have any more questions, I will, let's see, Walid's saying. Okay, you're welcome, Walid. No problem, yeah, I figured you, Mal. Oh, yes, Jeff, there you go, great question. And I didn't get to answer this. Guys, anytime you make changes to your B+, okay, a lot of people think they have to go in here and save as default, or go into Windows and save to cloud. That will save this to your cloud, but it's not going to save it in your default layout. So anytime you make changes to your B+ window, it's the same as if you made changes to an A window or a T window, anything on your layout. You need to go in here, go File, Save Layout, save it back under your default layout, okay, and then hit yes, okay? That way you will save all the changes you made. But I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff, because a lot of people were confused about that. Be sure to save your layout, not just save it to the cloud. All right, my test drive did not have any trades until 11 a.m. and not the trades you have. Is your setup differently? Are you talking about in the AI windows, Mark?
Yeah, that's
you
odd.
might. Yeah, you know what, Mark? Did you log off your machine last night and then log back on this morning, or did you keep it up all night, your software? That would be the only thing that would cause that. Logged in this morning.
Huh, well,
all right, well,
you know,
if you would.
Yeah, I'd just say give us a screenshot with the entry time column fully exposed so we can see the date. If you could send a screenshot over, that'd be nice. info@trade-ideas.com.
And here's what you want to do, Mark. You want to go ahead and put it on all trades, go down to segments and put it on all trades and take a screenshot of all the trades and do what Jamie said, send it to info. And we'll take a look at it because, yeah, that it usually happens if you don't log off or out of your system at night. It will keep keep the same stuff going from yesterday. It just messes things up. What it does, you always want to Remember, if you're using the AI, you want to log off at night and log back in the morning. Does the background broker adhere to, I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with background broker.
Well, if he's referring to right now, Brokers Plus only interfaces to interactive brokers, and of course, yes, they enforce the pattern day trading rule, as does every U.S. equity broker that you're going to come in contact with if you're a U.S. citizen. Now, you know, other countries have different rules, so, but for U.S., yeah.
Okay, Glenn is asking for me to share my random acts of violence. Okay, that's a popular one that I shared a couple of weeks ago, and I sure will, Glenn. Yeah, others, if you don't have this, you might want to grab it. It's looking for stocks that are getting hit, and they still have a good composite rating. So let me share this. Let's call it Random Max, and we will paste it. There you go, Glenn. And anybody else who wants it? No, Donovan, I will share this Extreme Master Blaster as well. That's a good one. And you're right. We need to update that channel for it because we've all added a few of alerts. But let me just go ahead and Extreme Master Blaster, and I will share that as well. And there you go, Donovan. Random acts of violence is, I like it for long. So, because what you're looking for is stocks that have been, you know, let me pull it up real quick. Just hopefully grab the last one on here real quick. Okay, so MHK. Okay, you change from close is 2.7, so it's down 2.7, but the composite rating is still pretty good. You got to remember these things are getting hit today, so they've probably lost a lot of their value today. So it means you're going to find a constructive daily chart on this thing, and what it's looking for are stocks that are down at least 2.5%. That may be at interesting levels as far as doing a contrarian long. Yeah. Now you have to be careful. You have to, you know, I'm always looking at the chart, and like something like this, if it has broke its 10-period moving average, maybe tomorrow it finds support at this, you know, 20-period. I'm looking for areas of interest when I do look for these. But yeah, you can find some really good ones on there as a, especially not so much in the later in the afternoon, mostly in the morning. Say maybe after the first 30 minutes of the day, and then for the next couple of hours. The ones in the afternoon, usually if they've sold off that all day, they're probably not going to bounce, at least during the day, during the trading day. Great questions. And all right, we are coming at the top of the hour. Guys, don't forget about our Friday support session. Come in with your questions. Come in if you want us to share more alerts with you. Give you some ideas, and we will see you then. I'm going to bring in Scott, and he will walk us out of here. And you guys hang on. There may be something of interest.
All right, thanks, Andy and Jamie. As we mentioned at the top, the test drive's going on, and these guys talked about that a fair amount, but just wanted to remind everyone you can sign up through November 20th. It ends on the 22nd. If you sign up today, you'll have from today through the 22nd to try all the features, all the premium features, paper trading, the back testing, Holly the AI, and charting, everything. Just go to trade-ideas.com/test drive to find out how to sign up and get in it, because there's a whole week next week that will be ready, and a support webinar tomorrow morning for you guys to get filled in and get your questions answered so you're ready to start next week with the test drive. There's a series of ebooks we launched fairly recently, and both Andy and Jamie contributed chapters to them, so you should definitely check them out. There's 3 books that you get by going to trade-ideas.com/setup and putting in your email address. Each book has 2 chapters. They include some cloud links that you can import into your Trade Ideas layouts. It's good stuff. It's free and it's very educational. So do take the opportunity to get them and check them out. As a podcast, we'll probably have a new one out tomorrow, if not the following Friday. We release them just about every week. Just search for Trade Ideas Podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts and add us as a subscription. And you can scroll through the back issues. There's some interviews back in there with some interesting folks you can locate and listen while you're waiting for the new episode. We've got a code that's good for the rest of this month. If you're ready to sign up and just start your subscription right now, save with Paper Trade. The code saves 15% off the first month or year of Trade Ideas, and those of you in Standard can also use this to do an upgrade to Premium. So if you've been trying out the test drive and you already decided you're ready to go, just lock in that subscription with the code and save. You can follow Jamie on Twitter at QuantBot. We've also got Steve Gomez at Today Trader and at Trade Ideas. Facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pro is Facebook page to like and then share everything we post with all your friends. And any questions, just email us at the info@trade-ideas.com email address. That's the best place to send your questions because it goes into our help desk software and it won't get lost. It'll get routed to the appropriate team member to answer your question quickly. That's it. We're going to have this recording up later on tonight or tomorrow. Stay tuned for an update tomorrow about how to find it. Thanks, Andy and Jamie. Thanks all.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see some of you tomorrow in the support session.
Yep. See you tomorrow.